watching the Break It Down show.
Wait, hold on. Now you can do it. Not because gotta do it
Sorry,
again.
I'm blind.
You're
This
good.
is Jesse. Hey, y'all, this is Jesse Pringle, and you're watching the Break It Down show.
Man, this is great. You do cool shit, man. I'd love to ask this question with people like you who are doing things and have a ton of freedom. When you go to a party, what do you say you do for a living?
Singer, filmmaker.
Yeah, yeah.
Gypsy.
Gypsy. How long do you think you'll maintain all of the slashes? Do you think you'll always be someone who's a, because you're also a filmmaker, you're also a producer, you're also, I mean, you have a lot of slashes. Do you think you'll get rid of slashes as you get older, or will you continue to do extra things?
Um, I believe in taking advantage uh, of all the opportunities that I'm given, and so if I have the ability and hold the passion to do more than one thing, I will.
Yeah,
Um, if 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 one of those titles um, takes more time and more commitment, I'm not afraid of that either.
yeah,
So I think one of the good thing is being a creative. Um, you always keep that wide brush at life.
yeah,
Um, I know as a songwriter, as a singer, as a live performer, um, it's, as many ways as it's dissimilar from acting and filmmaking, it's very similar because
mm,
it's still putting on a show.
yeah,
And it takes timing, it takes preparation and creativity, and then you've got to put the actual show on. And so those are all things that whether or not I was just a singer songwriter or I was a producer or a writer. Um, it all came down to just getting things done that needed to be done for me to uh, just personally live a bit more satisfied knowing I tried a little bit harder or hard enough to get something done.
mm-hmm.
Um, and so I don't think going back to your question about all those slashes minimizing or some they will. Like I know for a fact I won't always be or continue to be maybe at times a bare knuckle boxer. Like
Right.
what a wild thing that is. But I've been a competitor my entire life. Boxing, kickboxing, MMA, and those type of activities have kept me really um, in. They've kept me in shape physically and mentally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and as a man, as a human, you get older, you do less. It starts to become pretty detrimental on your health,
Yeah,
physically and
yeah.
mentally. So, any physical activity. I mean, we both got a friend, Pete Koch, in Los Angeles, former NFL player and an actor, um,
Right.
and he continues to just baffle me sometimes and surprise me with just how in shape and just how active he is. And he's
Yeah.
promoter and trainer of that lifestyle, and that's a healthy lifestyle. It's a much healthier lifestyle than just letting yourself go, if you will. Like, um, and you know, back to that original question, that's probably going to be a slash that's going to go off the list. But
Yeah. Yeah.
bare knuckle boxer.
But
Honestly, Pete,
yeah.
honestly, I did it more for continuing the trajectory of the brand awareness for me as an actor, me as a singer,
Right.
me as a performer.
Right.
Um, the competitive spirit in me uh, wanted to compete,
Yeah.
and I knew the platform that it was going to be on. It would get me in front of a lot of eyes and a lot of ears, and
Yeah.
I really didn't have any fear or concern about the outcome. Either way it went, or any time it does, in that matter.
Yeah.
For me, it was
Yeah.
about brand awareness, increasing, visibility for everything I'm doing. And if it was a little, some people think it was a little crazy doing it.
It is. Yeah. It is a little crazy.
That's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. It just means I'm willing to take a risk. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. Yeah,
You got
it's
to be
funny.
you got
So
to be a bit of a gambler.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what some of us call living, right? And it's
That
funny
is
that you
living.
brought that up today because I was talking. So I've been studying jujitsu. I am not making a big deal
Good
about
for
this.
you,
This
man.
is more my yeah, exactly. It's more my journey. Like you said, you can choose to go one path or the other. I'm trying to keep my body's beat up from combat, right? And so I'm trying to find this, and it's a gentle martial art. So okay, I buy it. It's hard for me to go to the gym every day. My cardio is I struggle with my cardio. Look, I'm
Sure.
fat and old, right? Like that's not going to change very fast. And then my body only allows me to do
But
certain things.
here's the thing though, Pete.
Yeah.
It can change.
Well,
It can
yes,
change.
right. The puzzle is more complex. Like if my
Sure.
back is sore, are my hamstrings supple enough to allow me to stretch my back? And if
Sure.
and so I've got to figure out how to meter my body and my effort. That all that said, today I was talking to my professor, Professor James, and I said, you know, I'm just considering this. That's all I'm doing. But if I was to compete in this tournament that's coming up in March, and they do these things once a quarter, and you can always find a place to go compete, but it's going to be in my area. I'm just considering the act of considering it. And so he taught, and I'm like, and be honest, like, do you think I can, and like, can I get my wind up to do 5 minutes hard, right? And do I even need to do 5 minutes hard? Is it 3 minutes that I've got to survive?
Yeah.
Whatever. And then, but there's always that balance of, is it worth it, right? Is it worth like whatever injury I might get? And the answer probably is, yeah, why not, right? But the other thing is, we were talking about like, I don't care if I win. And I'm like, and I can reliably say, you can put me in several rings. I can say I've knocked someone out in this sport, and I've been knocked out in this sport, right?
Sure.
So those costs are less important. I don't have to, Jesse. You don't have to prove up. I don't have to prove up. We've done that already. But there is that thing that our generation, maybe the baby boomers before us, were saying, hey, you actually can continue to be a viable physical person. You're going to be a different version of it. You're not going to be the 20-year-old version of you, but maybe even better version that does things. It goes on this journey for a totally different reason that wouldn't have been possible when you were 20.
Absolutely. You're right about uh, all of that. Like um, to to reply, I would say that's a great look on you for continuing, to be active in jujitsu and considering competing. I would totally compete if I were you,
Mm-hmm.
because it because here's the thing: when you're starting like that and you've got some insecurities or fears about your conditioning or your shape, your skill level, or
Yeah.
whatever. Here's the thing, though: you have to get to even more of a deeply rooted issue, and you have to just go ahead and jump.
Yeah.
You're,
Well,
you know what I mean? That you have to
yeah, I
jump.
do.
You
I
have to
do
jump.
know.
You have to take that step, and you have to go out and do it. And it's win or lesson. It's never
Yeah.
lose. You're never losing because you
Yeah.
did it. Like you did it, and how many people won't do it just because of that? Like, oh well, like, nah,
Yeah.
you missed me with that. Go out and try it. Try something hard. Challenge
Yeah.
yourself. You know, it
It's
doesn't have to be
it's
jujitsu. It doesn't have to be kickboxing. It doesn't have to be bare knuckle. But just challenge yourself physically, because you'll end up getting so much health benefit from that.
yeah.
And again, I'm telling you, it's gonna reduce people's pills count. Nowadays
Yeah.
we're living in a generation of prescription customers, and it's all because they're not getting enough activity physically and mentally. So I commend you, man, for
Yeah.
sticking with it, and
Well,
I definitely can co-sign on the back injuries and the leg injuries and the hip
oh my
injuries
gosh.
and the knee
Yeah.
and ankle and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And jiu-jitsu has been great in many ways, to limber up a lot in those areas.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
but so has yoga.
Yeah.
Like
Sure.
yoga has done some amazing things for some back injuries that I've had.
Yeah.
Um, and and then you incorporate. You get to the point where you can incorporate diet. And then
Yeah.
you're really starting to tune in and
Yeah.
get
There's
vocals
a
and different.
forcing element when you compete too. I mean, one thing is the guys that I'm going to go against are going to be white belts. They're going to
Sure,
have some ability, and I'm going to have some ability. Whatever, right? Who cares about that? We're all going to be older. We're all going to be, you know, stiffer, and so you're going to
but you're
go
gonna
against
go against somebody. You're not going against a black belt. You're going against another white belt. Like,
another white belt,
right,
approximately my age, approximately my weight. Right now,
right,
maybe some of that will change if my class is not populated. They may
right.
bring somebody up or bring me down into a younger cat, whatever, right? And I can opt in or opt out of that. The other thing that's funny because I've always likened myself to a cliff jumper. Like if you show me a cliff, and I'm like, I'll jump off that cliff. And so today I was like, this is just me talking. I'm just trying to figure this out. And when I got in my truck, I thought, you know what, this is a cliff. I should jump off of it. So I sent out a text because I work out in the morning group at 6 in the
Okay.
morning and so we have this motivational little thing, and we don't do a whole lot of it, but like it's in there, right? So I'm like, if 10 people show up on Wednesday morning for the role, I'll sign up for this competition. So we'll see what happens.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, I'm
Well,
not saying I'm gonna do it yet, but if those folks show up, then I'm obliged, and I
here's
will
the
do it.
thing. Pete, I just go ahead and sign up. Like,
Well,
sign up
look,
regardless, because you gotta set an example to yourself, for yourself, and to
yeah,
everybody.
yeah,
And to everybody
yeah,
else that, hey, I'm gonna get out here
yeah.
and mix it up a little bit. You know.
I want to talk about singing because you got a
Yeah.
beautiful voice, you've got great
Thank you,
style.
man.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's true though. You sing songs that make babies, and that's good. I love baby making songs. That's my favorite kind of music. But it's fun to see like, oh, let's look at "Killing in the Name of" as a soul song, right? And that is fun. I like that. I'm entertained by that. But I'm more entertained by you and a microphone and actual dudes on actual instruments playing.
Right.
I'd rather
Right.
see an act like my cousins are in this crazy act that it's called Mother Mary Music. Everybody, my cousins are 6 foot tall blonde model twins,
Mm.
and they are sacrilegious as hell. And they play like I would say like an EDM style dance music and everything,
Yeah.
and they're going to be playing out. Man, I want to go watch that show. I want to
Oh, you
see
have
them
to.
live. Yeah, right. And it's going to be great. I want to see more live music rather than I mean, if pop is a lower form than regular music, because it's designed to be poppy, AI written music to me is even a lower form still. A lot of accessibility. Anybody can write a song now, but
Yeah.
can anybody make a good song?
And that's where the line is drawn in the sand, really. And it's funny because I have listened to some AI songs that have come out recently, just on following some, song review forums and different podcasts and things of that nature. And there definitely is, in the edge of technology in regards to assisting writing and whatever else, and they have come
Hmm.
out with, their own songs and their own voices and whatever. But it's still not as, you know, number. It's not a real song. It's not genuine. It doesn't have the art and creativity behind it. It's not somebody's life on the line, or somebody's, love story or horror story or whatever.
Right.
And so, that's where you have to have the love for music and all genres of music, because every different type of music does something different to you, inspires you differently as a listener. And, it does the same thing as a writer. I love listening to the music before I write, rather than write something and then make music to it,
Hmm.
because I
Hmm.
like to be inspired by music too. So,
Yeah.
if I have an idea or an outline, because I've crossed genres before.
Hmm.
I've done a couple EDM style records, some electronic records, R&B, of course, over the years, and for the first time, even wrote and recorded a country record.
Oh.
Um, yeah, so I mean, it's all it's all fair play, and music inspires me, and I know it inspires other people. So for me, it's just about um, having the opportunity to kind of share my words, my experiences.
Hmm.
Sometimes I write it, and when I'm done writing it, I don't even know what I wrote until I read it.
Right.
because I just let the music do the talking.
Yeah.
And so I think music is very special in that way, and I can only hope to play it and have somebody relate to it. Honestly, regardless, it related to me enough for me to be creative, to write the song and record the song and put it out there, and kind of put myself out there like that. Because some songs are emotional, some songs are personal, some songs are life stories. You know, and that's not an easy thing to do, to put yourself out there like that. So you got to respect, creatives in that um, in that realm, if
Yeah.
nothing else, because you know they're putting their hearts and souls out there through lyrics, to music, for the
Yep.
listener, just
Yep.
so you can, just so possibly you can relate. You feel me? Like,
Oh,
just so
yeah.
possibly you can relate. And unfortunately, there's a lot of creatives that suffer um, with addiction, because of it, because they just
Yeah.
put themselves out there so much. But
Yeah.
that's another place. That's another place where you know martial arts and staying active, working out, training, stretching, yoga, jujitsu, whatever, comes in
Yeah.
handy, because it can
Yeah.
balance you out a little bit. It can totally you know be a yin yang,
Absolutely.
and balance you out, because you're
Yeah.
gonna you've got to work that toxic shit out, Pete. Like,
You do, and I'm fond of saying, look, and anybody can develop this capacity. You don't have to work that hard at it, but
sure,
if you go swim a mile in a pool, like laps, you will absolutely feel better when you get out. It's a
absolutely,
therapy session, it's a workout, and you will think to yourself, "Man, that was hard." And you don't gotta swim a mile the first time if you can't swim that far, but everybody can work up to a mile. It's almost exactly like walking once you
you
get it
can.
down.
I it, I can absolutely relate to that, because I always
Yeah,
say it, for me, like walking, it always takes an hour,
yeah,
but
yeah,
in that 60 minutes, I've changed my life for the better.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
And 60 minutes is enough and I'm just talking about walking. You can walk uphill,
yeah,
down here, whatever, but just walking is enough
yeah,
to start to heal your body, like, and
yeah.
be productive. Um, even if
If
it's
you
on a. Go ahead.
As if you test your blood sugar before you walk and after you walk, your blood sugar will be lower. You haven't taken a pill. You've just gone
Right.
for a walk, and
Yeah.
that's just that one thing. It is powerful, right? Yeah. I love the exercise of like writing songs. I'm not a songwriter. I write things, but I'm not a writer. So I write for like enjoyment and pleasure. I write about baseball, but
Sure.
I love the exercise of writing for a purpose. And so I think about Little Wing. That's Jimi Hendrix's song Little Wing. 67 words. That's all that's in that thing. And it says it's a movie. It's a 2-hour
Yeah.
movie, in 67 words. So can I tell a 67-word story? I love that exercise, man. And I suck at it, but I love sucking at it because I love trying to figure it out. For me, there's a lot of joy in that part of the process too, because I'm not actually trying to put a song out. I'm just
Sure.
like, can I master words in a way that allows me through spoken word, especially, but also the written word to
Yeah.
improve my eloquence, my elegance with my eloquence.
Jimi Hendrix was a star of stars. And
Yeah.
that goes back to how he passed, allegedly.
Yeah.
Goes back to the the level of creativity and the level of personal sacrifice of putting yourself out there like that. But um, you're talking about the 67 word song,
Yeah.
and uh, at times I think about less concern about the number,
Mm.
and
Mhm.
then more time spent and focus on telling an entire story in a short amount of time, and hit all the stops and all the bullet points, and then look back at the time and then work your time down that way. So then you
Yeah.
can tell a story in 67 words. because you'll start
Yeah.
out, let me tell this story, and it'll be 120 words, or it'll be 90
Uh-huh.
words. Now you get it down to
Yeah.
84 words. Now you're getting down to 72 words. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's just, it's getting comfortably exposed,
Mm.
uncomfortably.
Yeah.
because
No,
because
yeah.
because people are going to relate to the word science of
Right.
very descriptive storytelling. And oh, that word that hit me right there. Oh, like that situation that hit me. Like I
Yeah.
can relate to that. Like, and I think that's what it becomes really important is being able to just. Uh, I've got a lot to say and a little time to say it. So let me
Yeah.
focus on that. Like,
Yeah. I enjoy Steinbeck for that reason. He can say in a word or 2 words something that would take me 2 pages to say, and it's wonderful to find those things. And again, to use that as an inspiration to create something. I love that.
right.
How busy are you on the filmmaking side? Let me talk to the filmmaker version of Jesse right now.
and
And
uh, I'll say that filmmaking is very similar to music. It's always when um, creatively, it's always happening. So I'm always writing ideas. Um, I've got several scripts in the works. Um, I've got feature scripts, short form scripts, and even digital shorts strips,
mm,
like all the way down to 1 minute, and compressing 1 minute vertical video into storytelling, because there's a platform of distributing vertical series that is a real world in the film world now. And I can say only the people that are selecting to do it are doing it, but it's a viable way to tell stories really fast. And they're literal. A lot of them are soap operas right now because they grab onto the niches. So I think one of the stories of how it originated was there was a romance author did romance novels, and then they decided to put those novels on the screen, but do it in short format. So then their online book buyers could become online video buyers. So now they're watching the story play out
mhm.
in video in just micro segments, literally telling a story or a series or an episode or a segment in 60 seconds. So it's real fast-paced storytelling, and some of it is kind of tongue in cheek. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But or some of it may seem a little, you know, nichey, or even kind of corny. But you have to respect the craft and the ability to tell an entire story in 60 seconds, and that
Yeah.
that challenge alone kind of uh, you know that challenge
Yeah.
alone kind of inspired me to be like, huh, let me see if I can do something like that. And
Mhm.
so, what I did was I knew I couldn't write a romance novel, and I and then I think a big market in that realm for the vertical series is like werewolf series, right? And I wasn't ever into those either. So what I did was I tried and said, all right, well, let's do a romantic spy thriller type.
Mm.
So now we've got a government kind of operative type, and
Yeah.
he just happens to have a romance with somebody that may or may not be politically connected, or you know what I mean? Something
Mhm.
like just some,
Mhm.
you got to have a little bit of grandioso, to it, just to make it appealing to the short format audiences. It's got to tell a
Right.
story now. But because I like crime and drama and thriller and stuff like that, I had to put some action in there. And so it was real fun getting to, we did some test shooting of that in Kansas City, and that was fun because it was, once again, it was the goal of telling the stories in 60 seconds and just that challenge. And it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So always working, man. Always working, Pete.
Yeah, no, well, that's the thing about, folks, I think in our world where we have the freedom to create what we wanna create, and then also the demand of, like, "What do I do with it? How do I make money with it? How do I get to make the next thing?" but our freedom is extremely valuable because we have these rich lives with these experiences and this willingness to go out and bare knuckle box or some fat old guy doing jujitsu in a tournament.
I'm
Um,
glad you said that, about the living, because
yeah,
I mean, I can't complain. We're I'm where you do not feed iguanas. That's where I'm
yeah,
located right now. And let me just take a quick shot.
yeah,
The ocean, and that's because it's about what you said. It's about, hey,
right,
life is short. Let's do it.
yeah,
Life is
yeah.
short. Let's do it. Like,
Let's do it.
let's do it.
Yeah. Well, and why not, right? Why not do it? Why not go out and do every these things? It's funny, the short form storytelling. We're all trying to figure this out. I have I have this wonderful platform. It's so funny, man. This is great. You'll appreciate this. Oftentimes, I'll be on X talking about baseball or whatever, or some international
Hmm.
policy or some spy shit that I talk about, and
Hmm.
someone will be like, "Ooh, pizza podcaster," and I'm like, if you only knew all of the wonderful things, I get to know you. You and I both know Pete Koch,
Yeah,
and there's all of
yeah,
the
for sure.
people and experiences. I get to go to a world famous celebrity's house on the regular, and I'm now their guest. I show up with all my stuff. But man, I roll with a backpack and a 3 camera shoot in it.
Yeah.
I set up at their house. I've been to the house that used to be owned by Orson Welles up in Laurel Canyon.
Wow.
I mean, this is
Wow.
cool shit, right? And so when someone
Very
mocks
cool.
that, I'm like, no, just go create. Don't mock me. Go do something bigger. So
Right.
and the funny thing is, it's like these little melodies in my head, because I am kind of a failed songwriter, but I'll have these little ideas for, like, songs, or I'll sing to my cat. I'm very musical. My dad has had a degree in music and everything else.
Wow.
And so I was walking around in Costco and I saw like their display for ginkgo biloba, that stuff. And so I'm like, ginkgo biloba, boom, boom. Oh, so I took
Hey.
Shaggy's song and I put that down. I put it on TikTok. That is my best performing TikTok video ever by far. As people
Hey,
and
dude.
I didn't change the song. I just said this is what it sounds like and see if you get it. And people get it. And
Yeah.
that video is 10 seconds long, maybe 10 seconds.
Advertising is sold in blocks, just like that. Like,
Yeah.
it could
Yeah.
be 10 seconds, it could be 15, it could be 30, it could be 60. Like, but yeah, some of the first music money I ever made was writing and recording a jingle for
Mm.
a cell phone and pager company back in Kansas City years
Yeah.
ago. So, and it was one of those
Yeah.
commercials they just played over and over and over and over,
Mhm.
like, which was great, but that was
Yeah.
before licensing royalties back then. So
Yeah. Boy, that would have been something, right?
it would
I
have
mean,
been
you think
great.
about all the different things that are out there when someone wrote a song and it became something
Oh yeah,
and it makes them so much money. Like imagine how much money Danny Elfman has made on the Simpsons theme song.
man. Like just
Millions.
and that market of music sync with film and entertainment things like that.
Yeah.
That's thankfully it's being, and that's a good thing, it's being publicized more, and the opportunities for actually getting compensated for coming up with ideas in creative ways, and just kind of opening a marketplace up for artists musically
Mm.
now. It's a
Mhm.
great thing. Like,
Yeah.
everybody talks about the bad things of being independent or the good things about being independent, but at least you can be independent.
Yeah.
What a great country we live in, where we can be independent. So
Yeah. 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 Or you can find someone who's independent and you can say, "Let me help you." Because I guarantee you, Jesse
absolutely.
has a hat he would love to take off. Like, you want
Oh
to
dude.
help? Oh man.
Oh dude. Oh dude. Like, that's all I. Oh dude. Like, that's my response to that. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, teams win championships. You
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? Players win plays, but teams win championships. I'm sure Pete's got an even better one, but
Man, he
like,
does. Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
it takes a team to win. It really, really
Yeah,
does.
for
And
sure.
so, you know, be ethically and morally square, and be a hard worker, and um, and work hard to build your network of professionals, all believing in going the same direction, and great things can happen.
It's true. So I think we are in the same school here on this, but you tell me and make me understand. Because when folks want to do a podcast, I
Mhm.
liken it to like working out or swimming, really. And if you saw someone doing 100 meters of butterfly, you can't do that. Like you have to earn
Right.
your way into that. If you see that big, beautiful body and the guy's oiled up and he's posing because he's leaned out because he's about to go compete on stage, that's not for you. You can
Right.
get to somewhere, but your version of that will be different. But the most important thing is, what will you do every day? Will you get into the pool? Will you eat better? Will you stretch? Will you do the yoga? Will you and if not, then don't worry about it. But once you decide to do it, Pete would say production over perfection. You
Mhm.
can get better at things as you go,
Yep.
but if you cannot release things because your my song isn't good enough, then you're not
Mhm.
going to release songs at a pace that's going to make sense for someone who's trying to build a career. How did I
Sure.
do?
No, that's great. Like, and Pete will also tell you, as well as I think Mike Tyson said at one time, because Tomato probably said to him, discipline beats
Yeah,
motivation every day. You
yeah,
know, discipline beats talent sometimes, and most times, uh, because you do the hard things when you don't want to do them, just
right.
because that's what it takes to win. Um, and so, I think just going out and giving it that effort is a victory. So, I was just having a conversation earlier today about celebrating the small wins.
Hmm.
We were on a song review podcast the other night, and uh, my new single "Mercy" won the song of the night. And so
Oh,
I was happy about that. That was a good thing. And so, it's about celebrating those small wins sometimes, that turn into bigger and greater wins and victories. So you got to celebrate all of them, you
yeah,
know, as
yeah,
many hardships as you go through, making it to that point. Just can't forget about celebrating those small wins. And hey, for some people,
yeah,
a small win is actually getting out of bed
yeah,
and
yeah.
walking down the hallway rather than laying in bed. Uh, and it's it's we're in an interesting time where health and wellness have the opportunity to save an entire generation,
Yeah.
and then we're also in a time where creativity can heavily influence everybody. So
Yeah.
I'm happy to be doing what I'm doing, and I'll do it forever.
Yeah, man, I love that. I'll do it forever, right? However long that is, you'll be doing things that you believe in, that you're interested by. And
If I,
and there's something we talked earlier about, the artists, but we all started as makers and artists, we
sure.
wanted to do things. We loved, I mean, I love PE too, but I who didn't like writing an essay that you wanted to write something about? Not for the craft of learning how to write essays, but you just write your own thing or sing your song or play with clay. And we get away from that as adults, right? And so we kind of deny ourselves the ability to express ourselves, even if you express yourself poorly, right? You're expressing yourself in a way. This show was an effort to improve my ability to have conversations, right? Like constantly getting better. Am I better than the average person? Yes, because there's mechanics and I know them. And when I'm flexing in the mirror of my conversation muscles, yeah, they're big because I've got over 2,000 of these damn things. But I'm still always learning, always getting better. And I love that practice. I love being able to sit back and listen to people converse and just not have to say a thing, but be inside of their conversation mechanically and look at what they do and take for some and push away things and go, wow, this is how I could use some of what they're doing and just expand my bubble all the time.
I absolutely agree with you because uh, an ignorant mind will live less uh, and for a less amount of time than somebody who actually studies and gains a little bit more wisdom and gains some lessons from their mistakes and corrects themselves and overcomes some obstacles and actually go for it. Uh, and just the quality of life is going to be better that way,
Mm.
in my opinion.
Hmm.
There's a lot of people out here that, I'm naturally an introvert, Pete. I've
Ah!
had to, I've had to learn how to, talk more
Yeah.
and tell my story more and things like that. But um, but you have to. You, my mom used to say when I was a kid, a closed mouth don't get fed.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so if you don't tell somebody, then nobody's going to know, you know.
Yeah.
And it could be your story, it could be your talent, it could be, it's obviously this podcast,
Hmm.
and I commend you on it once again,
Thanks,
um,
man.
for having just the courage and the discipline to keep doing it, go out there and break the boundaries and breaking it down,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
talking about the comfortable and the uncomfortable things. That's a great achievement. So
Yeah.
um, too many people are scared to talk. There's a whole
Yeah.
generation of kids. There's a whole generation of kids out there walking around don't even know how to talk out in public. They get freaked
Yeah.
out. They get scared. They can't take their eyes off their phones. So
I don't want to put them on Front Street, but I'm going to put them on Front Street.
I just
I'm
did.
trying to get, I'm trying to get my nephew to go up to
Right.
that girl. I do know her name. I won't say her name, but to go up to that girl and just say, "Hey, will you go to the winter dance with me?" Right? And I'm
Why
like, all you
not?
got to do is do it. And you can only tell him so many times. He knows he's supposed to do it,
Sure.
and he hasn't, right? And so I'm trying to figure out how to uncle him just a touch closer, so that he takes that. What is going to have to be a step he has to take at some point, and then what a magical journey to go out and get to know women. I mean, it's a wonderful thing, and it's great to have this fear that he has right now that's blocking
Sure.
him. Fear of rejection, fear of whatever else. But you and I both know that like that's a small step. It's a big step for a kid when you haven't done it, but that little step is so insignificant when it comes to all the things you learn about women later on, right? But I'm enjoying his pressure where he's at right now, and I'm
Sure.
hoping that I'm hoping he gets out of that phone and goes up to her and
Talk to
figures
that
out
girl.
what to say.
Well, maybe have the conversation with him about his idea of what's the worst that can happen
Yeah,
and work your way back. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
So then you can figure out what to say or what not to say, right?
yeah,
And plan it out a little bit like that. Sometimes you just got to do it, not have a plan,
yeah, yeah.
uh, and
Yeah,
just wing
sometimes you just
it.
gotta say it, even if you
I
say it
think.
bad, just say it.
I mean, just his fear can ultimately just keep him respectful,
Yeah,
in those situations, and that's fine.
yeah.
Like, just be respectful, but you know, have the willingness to go out there and take a chance.
Yeah. One thing I've learned, and you know it, but like you learn the practice of it is I don't borrow no. So I'm just like, I'm gonna ask Jesse Pringle to be on my show. I don't he won't say yes to that. You know? So and I'm using you as an example. I knew you would say yes because we had such a great time last time and we both love Pete and everything else. But
Absolutely.
that whoever it is, if I want to get Kevin Bacon on my show, I'm just gonna ask him because it doesn't matter. And when people say, "How did you get Kevin Bacon on your show?" I'm going to say this: "Well, I asked him. I asked him. You know,
Yeah,
and he said yes."
that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm,
That's
I'm not really
amazing.
getting Kevin Bacon, everybody, but
I'm
but
just
that's how
saying.
it would go. Yeah, I
I'm just
I would
saying.
if I saw
Everybody,
him or I'd write him a letter.
how is he so different or so unattainable? Besides just being 1 or 2 degrees away from separation,
Yeah,
it's just a contact number, a phone number, an email, an in-person visit, like whatever.
yeah,
Nobody can say it won't happen, but if it does happen, what are you going to do? Just ask him.
and it happens all the
Just
time.
ask him. Like,
Yeah, right.
you know,
It,
uh,
it's even like with a
I
project,
was
like
a,
if you have a movie project and Kevin Bacon's perfect for it, you ask him because you're like, maybe he says yes, like maybe he's like, I've been dying to do an indie film, and you're like,
right,
well, I've got a tiny little spot. I'll fly you out. And, I'll fly
right,
myself out.
right,
I don't need my day rate. I'll do it for scale. And you're like, fine. And they go figure out what scale is. It's like
Well, and I gotta shout out Pete Koch and Don Fry
yeah,
and Richard Tyson and all the people I worked with the Kill 'Em All series, Kill 'Em All Kansas City and Kill 'Em All Los
yeah.
Angeles on YouTube. You can check that out, playlist on my channel. But the Kill 'Em All series, which is a crime, short film series or whatever that we shot, Pete was a part of, and Richard was a part of, and
Mhm.
Don Fry, Don the Predator Fry was a part of. Like these are all just people that I had either met through relationships or even Pete. I think Pete
Yeah,
and I met online, and I just asked him. I was like, Pete, I love you as a character actor, man. I've got this role. I think you'd be absolutely perfect for. And what do you think about
yeah,
it? You know what I mean? Like, and
yeah.
he graciously enough did it, and I think he was an incredible character in that series and that show. I wish it was longer lived, and I
Mhm.
would like to still develop something with Pete. I think he's a uh, great for camera and a great performer,
Yeah,
and he's one of those people, uh, comparable to Kevin Bacon and Don Fry and Richard Tyson. These are people that have had
yeah,
experiences in life that make them valuable, you know.
yeah.
And it was that value and that valuable that I approached them with. Hey, I would love to have you on this show. This is what we got
Right.
going on. This is what it's going to be, and thankfully he came out and rocked it. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's a real thing, and Pete introduced us, because here's what I do is I'll say, to Pete, like, he's like, "When can I come back?" I'm like, "Shit, just produce episodes. Come back whenever you want and, bring whoever you want." So he brought you, and I'm like, "Yeah, of course," right? Because I
yeah,
have this wonderful platform. I don't need I can talk whenever I want. So why not allow you to bring something, bring a person, or why not allow Pete to produce episodes? We got Frank Stallone on the show because Pete and him work side by side, in the gym. And so that's awesome, right? And create these opportunities and allow someone else to create something with you it's just a remarkable thing, man. I dig it that you that you've had the same experience. I had Don Fry on the show because of Pete Koch, right? I mean, it's great.
and what a character that man is.
Boy, yeah,
I think
yeah,
he's. I think. I think anybody over the age of 35, at least 40, if you're a man, Don Fry is a little bit of one of your heroes.
yeah.
Just
It's
because
funny.
he's.
I hate to interrupt you, but I got to tell the story.
No,
So
you're
when I
good.
saw him, I was going to go see this guy from SEAL Team Six, the Sawman. Great, great name for a SEAL Team Six guy. And he's like,
Right.
"Oh, I love Pete. I mean, I love Don Fry. Will you see if he'll do a video for me?" And I'm like, "Yes, of course." And so
Really?
Don, being Don, goes, "Hey, listen, Sawman." Basically calls him like soft. You're a pussy.
Oh man. Oh
And it was
shit.
great, because when Don Fry does that to you, you're like, "Yes, that's right."
Right.
It's like,
That's an accomplishment. Right.
yeah, it was so funny. And he knows he can say all that stuff. And Sawman doesn't care. Craig is badass in his own right. He's not uncomfortable with that. But how
Sure.
great is it to have Don Fry call you out? That's just the best.
It's the same as having Clint Eastwood call you out or Charles Bronson.
No.
One of
Yeah.
those guys.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you into right now today? Where are you at?
I'm in Hollywood, Florida, soaking up the
What are you
vitamin
into
D
though? Like you're
and
creatively, where are you at?
creatively in regards to being in Hollywood, Florida.
No, just like where like are you feeling like movies? Are you feeling like music? Where is like your number one project like in terms of your effort? Where were you with that? That's what I'm asking.
Um, Number one right now is the promoting of my newest single and music video, Mercy.
Okay.
And the music was produced by Tony Two Times, Anthony Restivo from Kansas City, Missouri. It was released
Mhm.
independently under my label, OME, and it's available on Spotify and all streaming platforms, as well as music video is available for watching on YouTube. It was a great release that we'd worked on a long time, and it took a long time to release. Thankfully, we got a chance to do that, and it's for me, it was inspired by what I call classic soul and R&B, and could almost be considered blues or or in some circles, honky tonk, because it reflects a time back when I was inspired by like 1950s and 60s R&B and soul and country music from back then.
Sure.
I feel like when I heard that music, it was very reflective of that, and of course, inspired by gospel music, by having the electronic piano in there, and the I think it was the Rhodes keys, and it just I like that style, man. Like it
Yeah.
sometimes telling simple stories can be the biggest stories to tell,
Yeah.
and it's a simple story about you know struggling with a toxic relationship, and and asking for somebody. He's asking God. He said, "Lord, have mercy on me." But
Yeah.
whoever that is to you, like relationships can be tough and can be hard, and it's to me, it's it's just a relatable story about a good thing gone wrong. So right now, that's a focus.
Okay.
Pushing that video, that single, and performing it live. Honestly,
That link, everybody, on YouTube, it's a little bit long there. If you guys know what to do. Look, who doesn't know how to look this up on YouTube? Jesse Pringle, Mercy, it'll come up. By the way, love it. It's fantastic.
thank you,
You've
man.
nailed exactly how I heard it and saw it. And
Thank you.
I love that genre of music. It's so expressive, and it belongs to anybody who can pull it off. Man, you pull it
Yeah,
off. It's great.
thank you, man. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. We're excited about the video too because it was shot, specifically for that reason, of just kind of stripping away the layers and shooting it directly from the sound recording booth.
Hmm.
When I wrote the song, I had this big grand production for it, which it could definitely be a
Hmm.
short film. The music video could definitely be a short film, at
Yeah.
least. Um,
Yeah.
but I also think and love the concept of kind of stripping everything away from being so cinematic, and let's get down to the lyrics and the story and the
Yeah.
artist that's doing it, and relate to that. So
Man, I don't need a whole lot from someone on stage more than just you and a good microphone and just some actual instruments that don't even need to be amplified.
yeah,
Like this, the more pulled back, the more real it is, the more I want it. Draw a bow across a string. Don't worry, I'll feel it. But that's where I'm at, man. And not that I don't like EDM and things that you can make on a pad, not even a keyboard, right?
right.
Not that I don't like that stuff, but that's what I want to pay money to go see is real humans doing real shit.
You're absolutely right. One of my favorite songs of all time, Pete, and we're gonna walk and talk
All right.
because I'm gonna kind of change locations.
Yeah.
But um, one of my favorite songs of all time is a classical piano song. I believe you could classify it as classical. Excuse me, pardon me. Claire de Lune
Mhm.
by Claude Debussy, and or Debussy, some might say. But it's it's a style of music, one wouldn't imagine that would be one of my favorites, but it just, as I said, music speaks to different people
Yeah.
different ways,
Yeah.
and I think in a lot of ways that particular song tells a lot of different stories,
Yeah.
and so that's why it stays kind of on my top five list of favorite songs.
I love it. Yeah, man. It's funny. Many years ago, I was told when I had my technology show, Popping the Bubble, that we were about to figure out how to predict what song you wanted to hear next. And I'm like, how in the world do you know if I need Michael Hutchence or Bach? Like how are you going to decide that? Because I don't know. It just pops into my head, and I'd rather listen again to something that is as meaty as you can make it. I don't want pre-digested music. I want it. I want to figure it out for myself. And so Keep right there on that heartbeat, man, with where you're at. I love it, and I love Mercy. Everybody, the link for that is down below. I want to wrap this up so I can do the
Thank you.
next thing. I know you're on the move yourself right there. I've got another meeting coming up, but what do you want to get into the last couple of minutes here?
I think, Pete, um, we've talked about,
I'm muted
so,
if you
so,
want to.
Am I sitting in the seat while you're on this 11 o'clock, or are you not?
can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
I just want to say, for the last couple minutes or whatever, a lot that we talked about today, uh, I think is undersaid and undervalued, and I'm really, really happy to have had the opportunity to get on your show and talk about, some different things. Uh, just have discussions and talks about things that are outside of the normal.
Yeah,
And about creativity, about health and wellness, about being an artist, a writer, an athlete, um, and just about the importance of actually going out and living and doing something
yeah,
rather than be mad because you're not.
yeah.
You know,
I love it.
a lot of people live miserably because they choose to.
Yeah,
And somebody told me one time, you have to be able to make hard decisions.
yeah.
You have to
I
be
know
able
one
to make
thing.
hard decisions.
I know one thing about like life, and you're in a great place that represents it. You were in Hollywood right now on the beach. Not very far at all away is the police station and prison. It's one of the only jails where you can be taken to on boat. Because I've stood on that exact same beach before, but you're also on the edge of the ocean at the beach, and it's a wonderful spot to be. And we can
And
choose our adventure, you know?
and it's the ocean that I'm attracted to. It's the water.
Yeah,
I'm a water sign all day, all night.
yeah,
And it's the power and the mystery of the ocean that does it for me. Palm trees are like candles on the cake.
yeah.
This ocean, man, I'm telling you, they say I don't know who they are, but you want to heal your body, go to the ocean, and
Yeah.
it can be very therapeutic.
Man, I appreciate you saying all that, and I appreciate you coming on the show. It's getting harder to hear you with the wind, so let's wrap it up. But let's not take so long between episodes next time. What do you want to
Right.
say in closing? Everybody, go check out everything Jesse Pringle does, whether you're on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. It's not hard to find Jesse. Just type in Jesse Pringle. You guys will figure it out. You guys are smart. What do you want to say in closing?
Pete, nothing that we haven't discussed already. I appreciate the opportunity coming on your show and just sitting down with you and talking about real shit. Um,
Yeah,
I like peeling away the layers and getting down to just some personal topics. And they can be business related or professional related, film or music related, sports related, but we're talking just as people and being transparent. Transparency,
yeah,
I think, is the most important thing.
love it.
Just be transparent and let everything flow as it may.
Love it. Everybody, this is Jesse Pringle. You're going to love him. Go check out all his stuff. You guys know what to do. Go support this man. He's great. And I will see you all later. Jesse, I'll see you. Goodbye to you in a second off mic. I'll see you all later, everybody. Bye bye.